Today, I want to talk about a PhD program that genuinely surprised me. I have gone through the PhD regulations of many universities and institutions across India, but this particular institute clearly stands out for strictly following the UGC PhD regulations to the T. And this institute is Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TIS. TIS currently has 4 campuses across India. The main campus is, of course, Mumbai, and the other campuses are located in Hyderabad, Tuljapur, and Guwahati. One important thing to know about the PhD program of TIS is that the PhD admissions policy and the eligibility criteria are centralized. This means that if the same admission framework is followed across all campuses. However, every campus does not offer every discipline. So before applying, it is important to check which campus offers your specific research area. If you are someone who wants to pursue a PhD that is closely aligned with UGC regulation, then this institute is definitely the one you should explore. So let me first begin with a brief introduction to this institute. This was originally established in 1936 as Sir Dorabji Tata Graduate School of Social Work. Later in 1944, it was renamed as the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and then in 1964, it was declared as a deemed to be universities. So, over the years, this has built a strong reputation in the field of social sciences, public policy, and development studies. So, now let us talk about the structure of the PhD program at TIS. So, at TIS, the PhD is offered only and only in full-time mode, which means that scholars are expected to devote their full time to research and academic activities. Most PhD scholars pursue the program with fellowships or scholarships, and they actively participate in coursework, seminars, and research discussions organized by the institute. However, if a scholar later takes up employment and they may request the institute to convert the PhD to a part-time mode subjected to approval, this can be a possibility. Still, TIS offers PhD program across several social sciences and policy focused areas. These include social work, management and labor studies, habitat studies, developmental studies, women studies, disaster studies, health services management, public health, public policy, social sciences, rural development, and education. Together, these disciplines reflect the Institute's strong focus on research that contributes to society, governance, and public policy. So, now let us talk about something that surprises many people, the cost of pursuing a PhD at TIS. So, most people assume that doing a PhD from a reputed institute must be extremely expensive. However, in the case of TIS, that assumption is absolutely incorrect. So if we look at the semester-wise fee mentioned in the official structure of TIS, the total cost of the first 4 years comes to around 60,000 rupees. If the PhD is extended to say 5 years, the additional semester adds roughly to 42,000 rupees. So even for the complete 5 years, if you pursue a PhD, your cost would be close to 1 lakh rupees. That's it. So now let us understand the eligibility requirements. Like who can pursue a PhD in TIS? Who is eligible to pursue? So you need a master's degree with at least 55% marks. Now this could be either a 2 years master's degree after your 3 years of bachelor's or 1 year's master's degree after your 4 years of bachelor's degree. Candidates can also apply directly after your 4 years of bachelor's degree, but in that case, the minimum requirement is 75% marks. Degrees from recognized foreign universities are also accepted provided they are properly accredited. Additionally, there are 5% relaxation given to the reserved category as given by in the UGC norms. So now let us look at the selection process. For PhD admission, UGC NET is a compulsory qualification. Of course, if you are GATE qualified also, then also you can write them a mail and confirm. Probably you will be allowed to apply. Candidates are shortlisted for the online personal interview in 1:5 ratio, which means that 5 candidates are called for 1 available seat. For candidates who qualify the UGC NET without JRF, this final selection would be based on 70% weightage will be given to the NET score and 30% will be given to the interview. However, for candidates who hold a valid JRF, this selection is completely based on the interview performance. Another important requirement is the research proposal. Yes, applicant must submit a research proposal of around 2000 words along with the application. This proposal should clearly explain the research topic, the objective, the significance, proposed research methodology, and so on. So during the interview stage, most of the discussion will revolve around your proposal only, your research idea, how well you understand your topic, and how much are you prepared for your PhD journey. So now an important update for PhD aspirants. The PhD admission cycle for June 2026 is expected to open anytime now. So if you are planning to apply to this is the right time to start refining your research topic and preparing your research proposal. PhD aspirants, if you are looking for guidance in selecting a research topic, preparing your research proposal, and choosing the right university, and of course helping you prepare for that Viva too, then we at ZPTC are here to support you at every step of your PhD admission journey. For our one-to-one mentoring session details, you can reach me on the WhatsApp number given below. Thank you so much for watching my video. See you next week.